Okay, everybody, be honest. Who here has an incredibly unbearable amount of tabs open right now? So these are just windows. So as you can see right here, I have 4 separate windows. And this one, for example, has 8 different tabs open. There's 4, and there's another 4. So that's a little unorganized, wouldn't you agree? What I'd like you to do for this one is to try to keep your materials for my social studies class in order. There are some teachers who are doing the digital notebook. At this time, that is not what we are going to be doing. This is exactly, and I'm going to model for you exactly what I'm looking for right now and how you can better keep things organized for this class. If you can remember something that I've said and something I've tried to remind you of, dates and titles are going to be really important. I would suggest, and I might change my mind later on because I am not 100% sure how Google Drive is going to organize things, but I would suggest writing the date first and then the title, whatever it may be. So here's what we're doing. First thing I'd like you to do is create new folder, and you could write this as social studies, Mr. Giroux, and create. Okay, first part's done. Now, where did I put it? Ah, right there. So this is where you are going to drop all of the stuff that you do on Google Classroom. So if I give you something as an assignment and then I return it to you with feedback and I tell you to drop it into your folder, this is what I'm referring to. Next thing you'll do when you're creating this, you will create another folder, and this one is titled Warm-Ups. New folder. This one will be vocab. Next folder will be notes. Okay, see, look right here. This is not necessarily the order that I wanted in, so I'm going to change it a little bit. I'm going to go to rename, and I'm going to actually put a 1 right there. That'll put it at the top of the list. And then I'm going to go with 2. And again, as I'm doing this, everybody, I understand that some teachers are doing digital notebooks. I'm just not at a place yet where I want to go that direction. I'm going to try this route. It's a little more front loading on our end, but then I think if we can drag and drop as we do things, that'll be somewhat realistic to as if we were in the traditional classroom setting and I was handing you papers for you to do your assignments on or notes for you to take. So this is kind of the digital step of doing something like that. There's still a lot of action on your part. Now this final folder that I'm having you use, I'm not sure how much we will use it, but I'm going to have you create it anyway. And this is going to be titled Tools, Tutorials. And so what this might be is you might be able to drag and drop the files into here. What I'm going to have you guys do, if that's not a case where you can drag the file in, so I'll have you create a Google Doc of some sort where you will do this. And I'm going to pull up an example right now. This is a ongoing document that I have been using for many years. If I could find it. Yes. This document right here was actually, it was originally a Word document, but so I essentially I copied and pasted everything and created something new. So all of these are essentially links. and potential tools that can be used in class. So this is kind of what I'm talking about with this file folder right here, with the creation of your tools and tutorials. I'm talking about possibly creating a document like this that has resources linked on it, so that if I tell you to look up a certain tool or look back for a certain video, you might have a list going. And again, this is going to be a lot of personal work on your end. Next thing I want you to do, open up the warm-up, and then actually open up a Google Doc, and then write warm-ups. And see, I'm already breaking my own rule in a way, because I'm actually putting the title first before the date. So warm-ups from, I'm not going to give you probably any warm-ups until after Labor Day. So let's go with September 8th, and that'll be ongoing. And then I think I'm going to actually take that title and I'm going to put it up here in my header section. So anytime that I add a new page, if I could actually spell September correctly, anytime that you add a new page, this right here will pop in. So again, that's the header section. That's like the top page that is the blank empty space of line paper. The cool thing with doing something like this is you can make adjustments and changes to it. What warm-ups will look like right now, and I'll probably tell this to you more than once, but when I give you a warm-up on a Google slide, then I'm going to want you to do it here, and I'm definitely going to want you to CSIQ, or restate, answer, improve. But essentially, you're not just going to write an answer, but you're going to give me a complete sentence that states part of the question, as well as you're going to provide an explanation for your answer. So that's part of the restate, answer, improve piece. And, once again, you will be reminded of this as well. You're going to follow the same idea with this right here. And then this sheet's going to be a little different as far as how we set it up, but don't worry about it. You will see a Google slide and you'll probably be able to just copy what you see and paste it onto this document. And so we will actually title this one Unit 1 Vocab. And then in here, oops, excuse me, I made a little bit of a mistake. I'm going to actually change this. So I'm going to actually delete this, remove, and then I want to do actually a document. And there's going to be a table and all that. What I had just said was on the slides that I give you, you might have the option, while you won't be able to write on my slides, you very well could possibly, if I give you a certain format that I want you to use, or if there's maybe a table that you like, you may actually be able to copy the images that you see. So, and then you may possibly, sorry about that, guys, then you might just be able to open up your document and drop them in. Okay. Now keep in mind that you guys are gonna that will be specifically written in your daily agenda if I'd like you to do this, or it could also say that on the daily slides that you are using. The next thing I want to double check and make sure I've given you everything. Then I would like you to do this one more time with notes. Okay. And the topics will vary. This is where you might decide to put the date. And the cool thing, if you end up making a mistake with a date, you can always go back and change it. So with these being in the same location on your Google Drive, make sure that you just remember what you titled it as. This is what I would suggest, just to keep it simple. But if you want to go with something different, that's fine. As long as when I tell you to drag and drop files from Google Classroom into here, this is what I'm talking about. Hopefully this works. We'll try it out, and we'll go from there. One more thing that I want to share with you is that if you have a document that you want to put in multiple folders, there is a way to do that in Google Classroom. So this document, for instance, this set of YouTube clips that I might want to put not only in my 6th grade folder but my 7th grade folder, I have to find out where it is first. And so what I would do is I would find that file. Here it is. And then if you touch Shift Z on your keypad, then that means that gives you the option to add something as well. And so then you can put it in the appropriate spot. And so for me, I want to put this into my social studies folder. And I'm going to specifically put that into tools. Now, as you're looking at my screen, you'll notice that it is right here. And then if I go to my Google Drive, whoops, excuse me, that's the wrong one. Then if I go here, there it is as well. I would encourage you guys to rewatch this tutorial plenty, because there's a lot of valid information around digital organization. Okay, this is kind of a create as we go type thing, whereas the digital notebook for some teachers has already been created and there's going to be dragging and dropping. I'm not sure if we're at that place just yet. So it is a possibility, but for now we're going to go this route. Should we decide to change, I will communicate that, and I will set you up with that so that it's not too much of a burden for you. As always, please email me with any questions, and I'm excited to see what you guys will continue to produce. Thank you for your time.